What's up, friends? Welcome in to Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com. Thanks for listening as well on ESPN Kansas City. I just realized that my microphone is a little bit lower than I would like, so
Interesting.
you're going to slyly see me
slouching a little?
slowly make it a little higher by twisting this and doing that.
Usually what I have to do, I like to keep mine a little high because it keeps me from slouching. Like if mine's super low, you'll see me the entire show like this, and it's not good for the back.
No, I know. And when we sit up in the rafters at Allen Fieldhouse also, that is when my posture is at its absolute worst. I'll tell you that much. But anyway, we're good now.
You're in the shape of a snail shell.
Oh,
it's not good.
No, it's not good, and I just can't fix it. Anyway, hey, here's what we're breaking down today on Rock Chalk Sports. We are talking KU Men's Basketball Day signees.
Yes.
Men's Basketball Day.
Men's basketball
signing day. I had to
signees.
Flip the words a little bit there. But yeah, signing day, signees for the KU men. 4 guys officially in the last 24 hours have announced their commitment to KU. We'll break that down here in the opening segment. And following that, we're going to go and hear from some Kansas women's players, as well as head basketball coach Brandon Schneider. The Kansas women knocked off Lamar last night at Allen Fieldhouse. So we'll hear from Regan Williams and Elle Evans before Coach Brandon. A little KU football talk next segment as well. Following that, Dan, it is going to be a moderately special fantasy draft. Tell us about this.
Yes. I can't believe if we did this, it was a long time ago.
I don't think we
at our old job, one of the first ones. I don't think it was. I don't think we've done it. We're doing a fantasy draft of just superpowers that we want to do, that we want to have.
Okay.
You want to go 6 again?
We can go 6.
Okay, cool. I spend an extremely ridiculous amount of time thinking about what superpowers that I want to have. So this is going to be a good one for me.
Okay. That works out well because I've spent like no time ever considering that. So it's a good little
you never think about like, hey, what if I could fly?
I don't. No.
Really?
No, I don't. But I do know, based on your mailbag question answer yesterday, that you definitely can go down a rabbit hole. The mailbag question yesterday, for anybody who missed it, was how would you convince somebody, if you traveled back in time 500 years, how would you convince the people way back when that you're from the future? And after 5 minutes of on-air deliberation, Dan decided that he would charm them. So we're going with that. After our fantasy draft, we are going to hear from Emma Noble. She is one of our School Jayhawks, as that's one of the featured segments that we're doing on KansasNation.com. And she is joined by
Dean Miller.
Yes.
Dean Miller, defensive end for Kansas. Really exciting. They play a fun game of wavelength too.
Why have we not done that yet? I wanted to do that last week and you said no.
Let's do it.
Okay.
You want to do that in lieu of the? Well, maybe if we have time at the end, we can do a game of wavelength.
Okay. All right. If we have some time. Following that Dean Miller interview with Emma Noble, we are going to bring on in studio the voice of the Kansas Jayhawks, Brian Hanni. He's going to talk KU men's basketball signing day as everything is official, so Brian can officially comment on the 4 Jayhawks that we're going to be highlighting here in the opening segment. Plus, KU basketball thoughts. No Darren Peterson, of course, Tuesday night in the fog. And then following some basketball chatter, maybe a football word or two. It's been a while since the Arizona game, but it still hurts. And now we still have to wait 9 days before KU is back on the gridiron as they take on Iowa State on November 22nd. And we'll close out the show with a little update from other athletics here at KU.
I mean, yesterday was National Signing Day.
Softball, volleyball, women's basketball. So we'll keep you up to date on everything going on that front. And then we'll have a Thursday night football game pick or two. Not a great game tonight as the New York football Jets travel to Foxborough to take on the Patriots.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Not good. Pats are minus 12.5, so not on that.
I'll give you a little precursor. Bet the under. Yeah. Actually, Drake May is good.
People love Drake May.
He's
literally Drake May's biggest fan, self-appointed biggest fan, will be on that couch in about an hour and a half.
That's right. Yeah, Haney's a big Drake
Patriots
May
fan
guy.
And absolutely loves Drake May.
That's true. That is very true. I mean, what is the line? I haven't even looked at it. What's the line?
It's 12.5.
It's 12.5.
Yeah. So it's could be rough. We'll see. Jets are plus 610 to win the game. You don't see that very often in the NFL, so you might have to throw your next paycheck at that.
Man, that's almost like 11 NFL players against 22 high schoolers.
You would think, yeah, you would think. Hey, let's get into the signing day news. We're just going to break them down in order of when they were officially released yesterday. So let's start with Trent Perry. Dan, first one, again, came out yesterday. He obviously will be a freshman next year. He has been playing at the Link Academy in Branson, Missouri, 6'5", 190 pounds. At Lone Star High School, averaged over 13 points, 5.7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals per game prior to Link Academy. Described as having a high motor, creating extra possessions with his defense. He also has a really long wingspan for a guard.
Insane.
7'2"
He's 6'5"
for a 6'5" Trent Perry. Bill Self said,
like
quote,
a microwave.
Trent is a winner. He does a little bit of everything. He's athletic. He's got size. He's a guy that can play multiple positions on the floor. I feel like when Trent is on your team's automatically better. End quote. You can tell us a little bit about where Trent was ranked, but this is a good get for KU. Anytime you see the wing type player that's an athlete, essentially seen as a winner in the coach's eyes, you want to fill your roster with those type of guys. And Trent Perry, it seems like, is one of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, a defensively minded kind of player, right? And he's long and lengthy. He can get into those passing lanes with that long wingspan, a 7'2" wing. I still can't get over that. He's 6'5". He has a 7'2" wingspan.
Paul Mbia, who has an all-world wingspan, 7'8"
That's
wingspan,
insane.
And he's obviously significantly taller.
But yeah, he's 7 foot. Yeah, he's
Right.
like 7 foot on the dot. He's 6 foot. Trent Perry's 6'5". So it's unbelievable to me that that's like even possible. But no, I'm really excited about this. I think that he's going to be an awesome piece. I mean, look, defensive upside, I think for him is going to be fantastic. And depending on how his senior year goes for Link Academy, like he could be a really dangerous offensive threat as well. Like Bill Self, he's a high motor guy. He can get to the rim whenever he wants, kind of plays that 2-3 spot, but get a high release. And, I really like the upside for Trent Perry. I think that he could potentially be, and I'm not going to say he's going to be a program guy. I think he's a guy who can kind of come in right away and get some meaningful minutes. I'm not going to say he's starting next year, but that's, I don't think 15 to 18 minutes is out of the realm of possibility. He was ranked number 77 in ESPN.com. He also played AAU ball for Mocan Elite.
We've had a few good Jayhawks.
Yeah, Mocan Elite is, if you know anything about Mocan Elite, they've just been churning out talented players forever. So that's obviously fantastic. He also participated in training camp for the 2023 USA Men's Under 16 national team in Colorado Springs, Colorado with USA Basketball. He was the first one to sign with Kansas. So really excited about Trent Perry. And later we can kind of go through maybe some of the roster and how the roster is going to shape up. But he's not the only one, right? He's not the only guy who signed yesterday. Do you want to?
Let's do it. Break the news. Who was after Trent?
Breaking news. Talon Kenny signed with Kansas.
6'7" himself.
Mr. 6'7". Obviously, he's the one who's kind of highlighting all of this. A 5-star guy, going to be a fantastic replacement at point guard for Darren Peterson. It's kind of crazy, and we talked about this before. It's kind of crazy that we already know Darren Peterson's replacement, and Darren Peterson has played, 3 official games, 4 official games, whatever. No, 3 official games for the University of Kansas. It's hard to kind of look at that and be like, man, this is great that we already feel comfortable about the future because we have such a high caliber guy coming in. He was the number 13 ranked recruit in 24/7 Sports, number 17 on ESPN.com, and 25 on Rivals. Also the number 1 point guard in the country by 247sports.com.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think maybe it's because we're in the realm of social media more so now than we were in radio. We're still on the radio, but it's good for the brand too, right? I mean, these are the kind of players that you need to get because of the fact that this is going to get younger eyes on your basketball team, right? It's going to grow the brand, and then a lot of the younger kids who are watching this, they like Tay Kenny on TikTok, and he's a big star, that kind of thing. There's going to be other recruits who are kind of looking at that, and they're like, "Man, this is like that's awesome that he's going to Kansas. I want to go to Kansas now." So it's good for the brand.
Well, Overtime Elite has turned out a lot of great players goes
Yeah.
without saying as well. But Samis Calderon, Cole Rosario, and Bryson Tiller were all OTE guys. And the second signee officially, Tay Kenny. We'll hear what Haney thinks about him. Believe it or not, as we said, he is not 6'7". He is 6'2" or 6'3", based on where you look. But yeah, he obviously played a big part in popularizing that phrase, and then has his own 6'7" water. So,
Yes.
but yeah, it's interesting because he's going to be a different player than Peterson, and Peterson is bigger. Peterson's got that extra couple inches compared to Tay Kenny, and it's going to be a little bit tough for Kenny because he's going to come into the program as a presumptive starter, and he's going to be looked at as a guy who's going to contribute in ways that we anticipate Darren Peterson contributing, not ranked as highly. Tay Kenny isn't somebody who is seen as the number 1, number 2 NBA draft pick. I haven't seen 2027 what that looks like. I think certainly he's a guy who can play in the NBA, but it's going to be big shoes to fill in replacing Peterson, like you said. If that is kind of the bill that he's supposed to fit, that'll be tricky because not saying he's not as talented as Peterson, but certainly from a ranking standpoint, he's very high, but not quite this all-world ranking that Peterson has gotten.
Right, very different skill sets, right? I mean, you look at just the size alone, right? He's smaller than DP, and the guy can get in there and get some rebounds, but that's not really his game. He's more of a spot up shooter than he is getting to the rim, which is fine. I mean, that's what you need, right? If you have a good 3-point shooter as your point guard, I think that's just even more of a threat on the outside, and it kind of alleviates a lot of the pressure on those bigs as well. So, I mean, you're going to have a lot of pressure up front. It kind of spreads the court out a little bit, but he's a good facilitator too. I mean, we watched a lot of film on him, and I mean, he's got great court vision. He's a multi-level scorer on the defensive end of the ball. I think he's great. He averaged 20.1 points per game last year, 5 assists, 4 rebounds per game for RWE in the Overtime Elite League during the 24-25 season. So yeah, I mean, this is really exciting. And then after that, I believe this happened this morning. This was at 10 a.m. Kansas signed Luke Barnett from Laguna Niguel, California. He plays at Mater Dei High School. Ever heard of it?
I have.
Shout out to Bryce Young and Matt Leinart.
Is that right? That'd be a great poll.
I think Matt Leinart went to Mater Dei.
Yes, well done.
Let's go. That's awesome. I cannot believe I knew that. That's absolutely insane. But yeah, I'm just glad.
You're so humble.
I know. I really am. I'm just incredibly. Did Sam Darnold go there too?
I don't know.
I can't remember. But so he goes to Mater Dei High School right now. Last year, he averaged 21 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, 1.9 assists per game, and 1.4 steals per game.
Oh my God, Sam Darnold, San Clemente High School. Not close. Sorry, you ruined it.
Well, Luke Barnett. Bill Self said something which is absolutely insane. He said, Luke is the best shooter we've recruited since Grady Dick. He said he has great range. He's got good size. He's powerful, tough athlete, outstanding shooter, much like Grady when we brought him in. Luke Barnett last year made 12 threes in a game against Hoover High School.
Yeah, I've seen some highlights on this kid as well, and he has a quick release, not afraid to rise and fire. The type of player that we haven't had since Grady Dick. I mean, we've tried to figure it out in the portal like we talked about because you had, Grady Dick, people forget, this is Kansas' third team since Grady Dick's team.
Oh, wow.
Because we had Nick Timberlake, and then we had Rylan Griffin. Those were supposed to be the guys that filled that hole, and, we'll see if anybody can answer the bell, whether it's Jaden Dawson, Cole Rosario, or somebody else on this year's team. But like you said, Coach hasn't said this about anybody we've brought in, portal or otherwise, in terms of being able to shoot, because Grady, perhaps the best shooter that Coach Self has had here at Kansas.
Right. I mean, look, if you look back at the last 2 teams that Kansas has had, what's the one thing that sticks out in your mind as, what needed to be better?
A lot.
Well,
from Kansas standards. But yeah, didn't have enough shooters, especially when your point guard Dwan Harris wasn't a score first guy.
Also that's true as well. And Dwan did a good job of facilitating the ball. Like, I think he did a good job of getting those guys the ball. They just weren't making those shots, right? Yeah. So Luke Barnett, like you bring in guys like Rylan, who in theory is a good 3-point shooter. You bring in a guy like Nick Timberlake, who is a good 3-point shooter at a G5 school. You're bringing in Luke Barnett, who hit 12 threes in a game one time, scored 51 points against Hoover High. This is a guy who we know for a fact that is his game. That's all he's going to be doing. Not saying that he can't do anything else, right? He can get to the rim. He can, play good defense. But the reason Luke Barnett's going to be in the game ever is to get Kansas quick points and a lot of points fast.
And an easy guy to get excited about because of that,
Absolutely.
right? Every team needs that. Now, there were teams the past couple of years with how college basketball has gone. You look at Florida, you look at the Alabamas of the world the past couple of years, they've got shooters all around. But Barnett coming on and knowing that, hey, this is your number one thing. Granted, he's going to have to do everything else. He's going to have to rebound. He's going to have to pass the ball. He's going to have to defend first and foremost to get on the court. But being a knockdown shooter like GD, that's going to be a huge get for Kansas. So we got Trent Perry, we got Tay Kenny, we got Luke Barnett, and then the other one this morning, a guy that Bill Self has said has a very high ceiling, and a guy that other people who were involved in the recruiting and or, I guess, broke down different guys, compared them to other guys at other schools. Davion Adkins is the prototypical Houston big, is something that I've heard.
That's right.
So those Houston bigs that
I think
we've grown accustomed to,
that,
Juwan Roberts, JoJo Tugler, the tough guys who get rebounds, are crafty enough offensively, great defenders. That's what I've heard regarding Davion Adkins. And Davion Adkins is a power forward, as I mentioned, 6'9". He comes from Arlington, Texas, 205 pounds. Bill Self saying, quote, Davion is a prototypical power forward that can also be big enough to play the pivot, end quote. That's important.
Yes.
Quote, we're excited about him because he's versatile. He's an athlete. He can play above the rim and has shown great improvement over the last year. We feel Davion's ceiling is very high, end quote. He is a top 30 guy by a lot of outlets as well. Another good get. KU this year, it remains to be seen if Flory Bidunga can be kind of that pivot guy. We know that he's an above the rim guy. We know that we've had a lot of them under Coach Self. Hunter Dickinson, a pivot guy, didn't have the athleticism, but Adkins, I think you put everything together, he has a chance to be really good in a couple of years.
Yeah, 100%, right? And this is the kind of guy that you need to get excited about, right? Because he's 6'9", 205. That's probably Flory Bidunga's size, but he plays the power forward, which I think is really important to note, that he's got some. He can stretch the ball a little bit, right? He can shoot those mid ranges. He can handle the ball a little bit as well. I mean, you look at it at just his stats alone, right? He averaged 11 points per game in the NBPA top 100 camp this summer. I mean, that's like the best of the best going against each other, scoring 11 points per game when there's a lot of rotation in those games as well. You're not playing the entire game is really impressive. And this is a guy who, like you said, he can play above the rim, and he could be a potential threat for, for shot blocking, rim protection, alley-oops, anything that you need out of your power forward. So it's really going to be exciting to watch him. This is a guy who I think can make an impact really, really early. I mean, he's a 5-star by a lot of of places, and I feel like Davion Atkins is one of those guys we haven't been talking about a whole heck of a lot, and we need to, and you need to get familiar with his name.
Number 27 on Rivals.com, number 33, 24/7 Sports, and number 46, ESPN.com. And as Dan mentioned, he's a 5-star recruit. So KU cleaning up on the first day of the signing period. We heard rumblings from recruiting sites. All this stuff is leaked out. We've talked about them on the show before, but these are official releases from KU, so we can actually envision what the roster is going to look like next year. For the most part, that there's going to be 3 or 4 transfers, probably 3 or 4 transfers out and 3 or 4 transfers in. But let's kind of take a look right now. We obviously don't expect Darren Peterson to be back. We don't expect Flory Bidunga to be back. So those are 2 guys who are going to be gone. There's some others who, of course, Kansas is going to lose to graduation. But just take a look, Dan, at 26, 27 and what that might look like with these 4 additions.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting, right? Because like you said, you're probably going to lose Flory and Darren to the NBA draft. That's going to be, the 2 guys who you don't expect to, or that you are expecting to lose, who aren't for sure going to be gone, right? Justin Cross, he's a senior. I mean, he doesn't play a lot. Melvin Council's a senior. Let's see. Trey White is a senior and Jaden Dawson's a senior. So those guys,
Ginyu
and then
Gala.
Ginyu Gala, a grad transfer. He's like 28 years old. He's you were roommates with him in college, weren't you,
I
Sean?
think so.
Yeah, man, that's impressive. But so those are the guys that you know for sure are going to be gone, right? So looking at the roster that you have right now, you do have Corbin Allen, who's redshirting this year. I don't know how much of an impact he's going to have next year. You do have Samis Calderon still, who's shown flashes at times. And I've actually really liked what I've seen while he's out there on the court. You also have Cole Rosario, who's going to be coming back for year 2. And, look, if he goes absolutely insane that goes to the NBA draft, sure. I don't see that happening as of right now. So hopefully Cole Rosario is able to come back for his sophomore year. I think that's going to be important for him. So you feel like you have Cole Rosario back, kind of playing that 2-3 spot. You have Jamari McDowell, who's going to be coming back. Again, that's a guy who's just a program guy who people can kind of look to see, like, how am I supposed to act as a Jayhawk? And Jamari McDowell is that guy. And also with Marco Jackson, Marco Jackson is going to be back. Also, he's a redshirt sophomore. It's kind of crazy because he's been here for 3 years, only a sophomore though. So you got to think that maybe next year is going to be El Marco's turn to really kind of take the reins as the leader on the court, the guy who plays that 2 spot, and he's the veteran that everybody's kind of looking at, right? Also, down low, probably going to have Bryson Tiller coming back, which is going to be big. I think that if you bring in Davion Atkins, he's 6'9", 205. Bryson Tiller's 6'11", 240. You got to throw Bryson at the 5. Even though Bryson can play the 4, and even as he said, he can play the 3 sometimes. I think you're going to have to put Bryson at that 5, which I love. I think that Bryson starting at the 5 is going to be great because he's so versatile, and it's going to be so hard for guys to be able to guard him. And then after that, I mean, you got Paul and Bia behind him. So you feel comfortable with the bigs because Paul and Bia is going to continue to develop. Bryson Tiller, again, if he doesn't go to the NBA draft, I don't think he will, but if he continues to play like this, I mean, there's going to be eyeballs definitely on Bryson Tiller. That's going to be interesting to see kind of how that shakes out. Also, there's going to be some transfers who come in, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, there could be some transfers going out. I mean, looking at it right now, I don't see a lot of transfers who are going to be going out because I think a lot of these guys are going to be, having their turn at kind of handing the reins. And like Jamari McDowell, I think he's going to get more play next year. El Marco's going to get more play next year. Just looking down that roster, you feel very comfortable.
At the same time, we would have said that last year about guys like
That's true.
Rakis Passmore. We would have said that, hey, he's a program guy. He's going to be here. So you really don't know. But what we can talk about is what the roster looks like right now. And if you're assuming that DP is gone and Flory is gone, then at the big position, like you said, you've got Bryson Tiller, Paul Mbia, and then Davion Atkins. Point guard position, I think you're looking at Tay Kenny, right?
Yeah.
And that could be a potential portal. Bring in another. I mean, they'll likely bring in another point guard at some point. It's just, will that point guard be a guy who's going to start ahead of Tay Kenny or back up Tay Kenny? Tay Kenny, I haven't seen on NBA draft boards for 2027 yet, so who knows if he's going to end up being a 2-year guy or how that's going to look. Point guard, I think, would be number one portal, just looking at this right now. But then on the wing, you got a lot of guys. We mentioned Cole Rosario. Should he be back for his sophomore year, which we think he would be, needs to be one of Kansas' best players next year. You've got El Marco Jackson on the wing. He's more of a combo, can run the point if needed. Jamari McDowell as well. Samis Calderon, a guy that you want to keep in the program. He's so long and can do so many different things. Had that big dunk on Tuesday night. Corbin Allen, another guy who could be one of those 3, 4, 5-year players at this point. So a local kid that we're cheering for. And then Luke Barnett, the sharpshooter, who has a chance to be impactful right away. I don't think that, and Trent Perry, of course, as well. So a lot on the wings. We're used to having a lot of options on the wing, and just kind of interesting to see how well these guys do at the other things. Like Luke Barnett, how well does he do aside from shooting? Trent Perry, how does he do shooting? And I think no matter what in the portal with today's day of NIL
and the transfer portal,
you're going to have a point guard that you're looking at, you're going to have a shooter that you're looking at, and you're probably going to have a big you're looking at, almost no matter what your roster outlook looks like. But I think you got to feel pretty good about bringing in a really talented big with a high ceiling like Adkins, a top-tier scoring point guard like Kenny, Harry, kind of a do-it-all guy on the wing, and then certainly a shooter in Barnett. I think this is a great class for Coach Self, and yeah, we're excited to see what the additions moving forward will be. Because right now, from a scholarship standpoint, KU would have 11 players. Those 11 that I just mentioned, assuming those other guys are going to be gone.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, there's obviously you're obviously going to have to get some guys out of the portal, right? I would imagine you're probably going to get maybe another center out of the portal, just like some other guy who can be able to back them up, depending on Paul and Bia's development, depending on Bryson Tiller's comfortability down low. You're probably looking at someone like that. Probably looking at another 3-point shooter, just in case Luke Barnett is not ready yet, right? I mean, we've seen this with a lot of guys who they come in and they're a sharpshooter kind of guy, but the game's just a little too fast for him, right? So you want to get kind of a veteran guy who's a solid knockdown 3-point shooter who doesn't get the pressure to get to him, right? So you're probably looking for something like that. Probably looking for maybe a backup point guard, right? I mean, what's the reason you got Ginyu Gala? You got Ginyu Gala to be kind of a defensive pest on the scout team against Darren Peterson. You also have a Marco Jackson who can bring up the ball as well. And, El Marco, I think, has been a big part of Darren Peterson's development in terms of, transitioning to the college game. Not that Darren Peterson really needed it, but still it's helpful to have somebody to kind of show you the ropes. It's a different environment. It's different rims, different balls, different ways to act, different coaching styles, right? So I think it's important to have kind of a veteran presence on that to kind of show you the ropes, especially with a guy like Tate Kenny who's coming in and he's going to be a freshman as well. It's hard for freshman point guards, and it can be very easy to get your head down and you make some turnovers. All of a sudden your confidence gets crushed. We see that all the time and time again throughout college basketball. So I think probably you're looking at a backup point guard. So maybe like a point guard, one wing, and maybe a center. Then that's 14 guys on the roster.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of how it trends, right? Bill Self does a great job assembling the roster from a positional standpoint, and we'll see moving forward. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because you look at this, and for the upcoming season for Kansas basketball, it's funny I say that because we just started this one, but 26-27, Cole Rosario and Bryson Tiller need to be the best players on that team, right? And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier this week about how, hey, this year's team, Cole Rosario and Bryson Tiller, are key to bringing KU to the next level. So those two guys in particular, I think, have some extra eyeballs on them as the season rolls on. But yeah, big day for KU men's basketball. Again, we will continue to break down signing days across the other sports, as it was a big one yesterday for KU athletics as Rock Chalk Sports rolls on. Trent Perry, Tay Kenny, Luke Barnett, Davion Edkins officially committing to Kansas men's basketball for next season. After this, we're going to hear some post-game from the Kansas women, who improved to 3-0 last night with a victory over Lamar. Regan Williams, Elle Evans, and Coach Brandon also squeeze in a little KU football talk as well. That's all coming up next on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports. Last night, the Kansas women improved to 3-0. Samaya Nichols, game high 15 points. It was 65-54 over Lamar. Nichols did what she did. 7 of 7 from the free throw line. She's always good at creating contact. And Regan Williams, her fourth double-double of her career, 11 points and 12 boards. We're going to hear from her here shortly. Somebody you cheer for sure, because you have this phrase that we don't use too often in, I think, probably basketball in particular, but football and other sports as well, getting recruited over.
Yeah.
Right? And that really wasn't the situation when Kansas went out and got the Lily Meister. It just was the fact that Regan Williams, coming in as a freshman, wasn't necessarily looked at as a starter, but due to so many injuries, was forced into that role. And now she's a quote-unquote reserve as a sophomore because the Lily Meister had so much success at Indiana, and she's got a little bit more size and can do some other things. But this is just proof that Regan Williams is really valuable, a little bit kind of like Bryson Tiller, like just kind of an extra starter that you have coming off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second game this year that she's been able to do this, right? I mean, Jalea Davis got into big-time foul trouble against Kansas City. All of a sudden, Regan comes in. She has 18 and 9, I believe. I don't think she got a double-double in that game, but she was phenomenal in that game, coming off the bench and just doing whatever it takes to get her team the win. And here's another example of, hey, look, Jalea Davis, she's not going to be playing in this game. Guess what? We got Regan Williams. We have somebody with experience on the court who knows what to do, who is a tough player, and she doesn't care, right? Whether she's starting, whether or not she's coming off the bench, however many minutes you're going to be giving her, Regan Williams is going to be playing hard out there. So you love to see that out of her.
Absolutely love Regan Williams' answer, and we're going to see that right here. She was asked about getting a double-double as Kansas knocked off Lamar 65-57. Here's Regan and Elle Evans.
Really bounced back with a double-double today.
Get a win for my team, and play hard, get a win. I don't really think about the last game. I just on to the next, play hard, and let's win.
Julia Davis is obviously a pretty key part of your team. So what had to change with her not playing tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously through the first couple games, it's been clear how much Julia does mean to our team. And not one person is going to be able to replace or replicate what she does on the floor. So I think that is stepping up from each and every one of us. But I'm really proud of the group tonight. I think we got it done. Not having her hurts us, but I think collectively we stepped up.
What adjustments can you make for your upcoming game against Mizzou?
I think one thing is definitely just the mindset. I think we haven't really thought about it too much up until this point, just because we were focused on each game at a time. But now we know it's time to lock in, and we realize how much this game means to us, to really everyone. So I really think it's just focusing in on our mindset and how we're going to attack the game.
Elle, 4 of 6 from 3 tonight. What was working well for you?
I think my teammates were just giving me open looks. Credit to Regan, she had me a couple flare screens over here. But also, it just felt good. So I'm really grateful that I'm given the green light and able to let it fly pretty much whenever.
What did it take to come together and finish? Struggled a little bit in the first half. What did it mean going into halftime? What was the conversation like in the locker room? What switched up to be able to come out with the win tonight?
Don't be soft. That was, we had the effort in the first half, but we were, really soft. So that was the main emphasis going in the second.
Coach talked after last game about how he wished you guys would spread out the points a little bit more. Just what was it like tonight, seeing everybody get touches and get buckets?
I think that's a fun way to play basketball. I think that's the way that we want to play basketball. We want to play fast, and it's always fun whenever you can get multiple people up on the scoreboard and having good nights. So I think that we'll learn from this night and hopefully continue to take this into our future games.
You guys get Missouri on Saturday. What do you guys know about the rivalry, and what does it mean to you guys to be able to play in that?
I think we haven't really talked about it too much, but I know personally just how far back it goes. So I think something for me, it's like do or die. And I think we're definitely going to talk about it tomorrow. But this game means so much, not only to us, but like I said, to Kansas in general, the university in general. We really know how much it means. So we're going to have a chip on our shoulder.
That's Regan Williams and Elle Evans post-game 65-54. Let's hear Coach Brandon after the win.
What's the update on her status?
She has some lower leg pain that we needed to get investigated, but we're hopeful that she'll be available, not only for our preparation but for our game for Missouri.
When did you first start she sit out the game?
It was honestly, that would have been Sunday night or Monday morning. I'd have to look back of when I got the text.
So since she didn't play tonight, what adjustments had to be made throughout the team to be able to pull off the win?
Well, it's pretty seamless for Regan, to slot right in there. Regan, I kind of feel like we have 3 starters, at the 4-5 position, and that's a rotation we're going to be really comfortable with. So, not a lot of adjustments there, but I did think it opened up more opportunities for Tatiana Brown and for Nadira.
Speaking of Tatiana, just what was it like to get some minutes for her tonight? She had 4 points at the end of the night. Just what was it like?
Yeah, I'm excited about her future. She's a terrific young lady. She's uber athletic, and I think is adjusting probably better than we even thought. As the months have passed.
There were some struggles in the first half but you were able to come out 14-point run out of halftime. So what was the conversation like in the locker room, and how did you adjust that?
Well, I think I thought we played hard in the first half, but I thought we were really soft. Rebounding, we had to rebound better. We had too many turnovers, and their aggressiveness, we let it bother us. And I thought in the second half we played hard, but we were also much tougher.
You talked after the last game about wanting to spread out that scoring a little bit. You had both Regan and Elle in double digits tonight along with Samaya. Just what went into this week, and how did they look in practice, and how did they do them?
Well, this was a one-day prep for us, so we did not practice Monday, practiced Tuesday, and had a shoot-around. So we had maybe our best practice of the year yesterday, and I thought those players that practiced really well, we saw some carryover.
So she didn't practice yesterday?
She did not. No.
Obviously, there was quite a few fouls called on both sides of the floor. Do you feel like that affected the momentum of the game, and how so?
I think you have two programs that know each other really well. It's oftentimes, like when you're trying to scrimmage against each other in practice and the other team knows the plays. That was a little bit like what it was like tonight. And, Lamar is really well coached, and they're tough and they're physical, and that's good for us. We need to play against teams like that.
What was it like to just be on the other side from Coach Franklin? I know she was on your staff for a couple of years.
Well, we've been really, really close for many years. I care a great deal about her. And I think it's hard coaching against friends. I've coached against my own father 6 times, so I have some experience with how that can feel. Obviously, you want to win, but in the same breath, you feel badly for a family member or a really close friend.
All good?
Coach, heading into Missouri this week, just have you talked to your team about it, just the rivalry and everything, and how just what surrounds it?
Yeah, we will be thoroughly educated on the ferociousness of the rivalry, what it means to our school, what it means to our city, what it means to our state, and what it means to our alumni base. And we're very excited about the game, and I hope that our fan base, who also cares deeply about the rivalry, will be there to support us.
Going into Saturday, do you feel like there needs to be any adjustments or changes?
We need to continue to practice. It's November. We need to continue to practice and get a little bit better, and just understand the importance of this game.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
That's Coach Brandon post-game. Next up is the Storage Mart Border Showdown.
Yes.
Mizzou women's basketball, not very good, Daniel. So we'll see if KU can improve to 4-0. That comes up over at T-Mobile Center Saturday night. So a doubleheader on Saturday. The Kansas men against Princeton at Fog Allen Fieldhouse, and the Kansas women against Mizzou at T-Mobile Center. Hey, after this, we have a very, 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 very special segment. It is a fantasy draft of superpowers that Dan has probably done a lot of research on, and I am again going to pretend like I've done
I've
the same.
dedicated my life to this research.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Another fantasy draft coming up on Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com, and ESPN Kansas City. All right, we're breaking back out our fantasy draft here on Rock Chalk Sports, which means that we're breaking out the MIAA coin.
Yes, Sean, this MIAA flipping coin is from the only game I ever got meaningful playing time in against Northeastern State, September 12th, 2019. I had 3 snaps. 2 of them were victory formation. Sean, do you want to call it in the air?
I do.
So the MIAA is heads. The football player with all the teams on the back are tails.
Okay.
I'll let you call it in the air. I'll flip it.
All right,
on
I
the
will.
Couch.
I will. Heads.
It's tails.
No!
I won.
No! Why did I not go
This
tails?
is unbelievable. Oh,
That's
I'm
all right.
like nervous.
That's
I
all right.
wasn't even prepared. I was just
You
gonna,
don't even know. That means you get first pick.
I know. I don't
Isn't
know
that
what
crazy?
to do. That's a lot of pressure to have the first pick.
It is.
I don't know how you do it every time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I make it work though.
Man.
God,
Usually-
why? I don't know why.
Usually I let you make the mistake of picking something first, and then I got 2 back-to-back. I actually kind of like picking second. Maybe
You got used to
I
it.
almost like miss it now. Don't
I think
don't
I
take
think
for
I have
granted.
a good one, but you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna take it 1 overall.
Sure. All right. So we're doing a fantasy draft of superpowers. Superpowers are we would have. So what are the stipulations here? So whoever wins this fantasy draft is like you, me. We have all. Are we doing 5 or 6?
Let's do 6.
We'll do 6. I have all 6 of my superpowers. You have all 6 of yours. Who wins in a fight to the death?
Okay. Well, is that what you want to do?
Mhm.
I don't know what your 6 are, so I can't answer that right now. But
No, but I'm saying that's how we
that's how we
determine
can
who wins.
determine it. Okay.
Like,
Or we
that's-
could put it on
that-
social media and let the powers that be.
But that's the thing. But like the people who are voting on social
Rather
media
than just like a
need to
better
be
list.
like, yeah, it's like, yeah, sure, like maybe one list could be better, but like
Okay.
another list could win in a fight to the death.
Interesting. Okay.
Like one list could be
I'm
more
good with that.
fun.
I'm good with
right?
that. Yeah.
Okay. Number 1 on mine. I'm just gonna take this off board so you can't
Okay.
take it. Gosh, this sucks. This sucks that it's going so early, but also like I don't want you to have this because this is going to be my main way of defense or maybe just running away, and that's flying.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to fly.
Right, right.
So that's going to be my number 1 is flying. I just need that. I needed that one off the list. I needed that. Like that's
But what an
when
interesting
it's there,
choice.
you take it.
I guess
There's better
because
choices probably,
there
but when
are
it's there,
better
you take it.
choices. There are better choices, and I'm probably going to select one of them right now. I haven't decided yet. But flying obviously was going to get taken. There's another one that's going to be taken that everybody I'm sure is thinking of right now. But I think I'm going to have to go with this. See, now that I said that and said I don't know about that being your number 1. My number 1, I get 2 in a row here. I'm
You
going to
do.
go with one that you probably think isn't worthy also
Okay.
of being drafted first, but I think it is. Give me the ability to manipulate time.
Yeah.
Time manipulation. So
That might be the only way
If
you can
I'm-
stop my flying.
if I'm in Fog Allen Fieldhouse
Sure.
having the night of my life,
Where are you going with this?
I don't want the game to end. I can make the game go longer.
Sure, but that's the whole point of Groundhog's Day or I guess maybe not. That's like eventually you
If
want
I
to get
have
on
to
with
go,
your life,
if I have
right?
to go to a meeting or something,
That's the
or-
beauty of
dude,
time.
Dude, you could go to a wedding
Sure.
and you could make the ceremony 30 seconds and make the reception last all night, man.
Yeah, but why are things beautiful? Is because they exist only once.
I wouldn't go too crazy with it.
Sure.
I would make it appropriate because I
Only
do
basketball games.
no because but I do respect that. I do respect that. And it does I understand that there are certain things that are
Yeah.
special because they only happen, but
Yeah.
again, kind of like what we were talking about, if you had an extra hour of something,
Right.
even if I just want to tack on 1 extra hour to my wedding reception or something,
Sure.
you know, it's like you want to be able to go back and do that. And
That's fair. But would
things-
you only do that once, or would you do it all
things
the time?
that are
If you did it
terrible-
all the time, then all of a sudden it's just another day.
yeah,
And then all the other days,
right. But that's
yeah.
the thing is I get to choose based on how I'm feeling that day,
sure.
what I want to do.
Sure.
So I think manipulating time and just having
That's
that
a good one.
ability is, on any given day, you wake up and you're stress free because you just no matter what you can.
right.
You
And if you're
can-
manipulating time and I'm flying, like you can just manipulate back to where I'm like not flying.
that's true.
So
That
that,
is
might be
true.
the only way you can really stop that one.
That's a good point.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. I like
Um,
it.
I think let's see. For my second overall pick for fantasy draft of superpowers, I think I'm gonna go with telekinesis.
Damn it.
Yeah, did you have that?
Yeah.
You had that as your top tier option.
Yeah, that was I was thinking about that number 1.
Yeah.
But
So now
yeah,
you're
that's-
left picking
I-
up the
yeah,
pieces.
I know.
But yeah,
that's tough.
just an ability to. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for sure is when you're watching
Wait,
TV and
sorry,
the
is
remote's on the other side of the
telekinesis
room.
is telekinesis the one where you can move things, or telekinesis the one where you can read minds?
It's the one where you can move things.
Oh, so you're moving things.
Yes,
Gotcha.
moving
Gotcha.
things.
Gotcha.
Is that what you were thinking, or is yours?
So I was yes.
Okay.
I was thinking because is the other one just mind reading? Probably.
yeah, mind control.
Sure.
Well, I'm
yeah.
sure there's a word for it that we don't know.
Yeah. The telekinesis where you can like pick up a truck and go.
But, yeah, I know. But again, the first thing that came to my mind was like a TV remote, or like if there's buffalo wings sitting over there on the bar, we could just buffalo
I'm
wings.
trying to win a
and just come
fight to the
over
death here,
Yeah.
man. You're
I'm
thinking
focused.
about-
I'm focused on an extra half hour for a game and
Yeah,
a
and not
plate
getting
of
up to-
buffalo wings whenever I want it.
Get this. You could definitely make the NBA and be the greatest shooter of all time. You shoot the ball and then you just
Yeah,
right in the bucket
totally.
every single time.
There are so many like other more important things that we could be doing with
Of
our
course.
superpowers, but we're talking about
Yeah,
Buffalo
right.
Wings and
like
NBA.
rebuilding
Yeah.
like cities from natural disasters.
yeah,
and
absolutely. That would all happen.
We'll do
too.
that.
We'll do that for sure.
Sean will do that after he watches this game that he's watched for the 18th time in a row because he's
Right.
manipulating time.
Yes, yes. All right, what do you got here next, back to back?
All right. Well, you took my telekinesis, so that really does suck. I am going to go. I mean, like, so I guess I have 2 back to back, and I could do both of them. I'm gonna go with mind control,
Yeah.
not reading people's
See, I
minds.
think that's too much power for me.
We're trying to win a fight to the death here, man.
That's fine. That's fine.
See, like, here's the thing. Like, I can control your mind to let you not use any of your superpowers.
I have not once and probably will continue to not put into action on my pick the fact that
Sure.
we're trying to win a fight to
Right.
the death.
And-
But I do appreciate
right.
you continue to remind me, and then I'll just see if
But,
I win at
okay,
the end.
all right, let me put it in perspective with you. You can control your wife's mind to pick up the TV remote and give it to you while you're watching a game.
I don't need to because I
because
can
you
just-
already have the
yeah,
telekinesis.
yeah.
So you don't want mind control.
I think mind control is too much.
Sure.
It's too much. But I respect your pick.
Too much
you're
power.
flying
Interesting.
and mind control. All right.
Yeah, I mean, what mind control? Like right away. Like I'm like, oh, like I can make Sean do whatever. Like
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah.
It's,
I mean,
you
that's
know,
like the ultimate
I'll
power,
make him
right?
walk to Antarctica or something.
Isn't that the ultimate power?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad it fell to me at
Mind
number,
control,
my,
which
number
essentially
5.
controls your actions. Yeah.
Yes. And then for my second pick, I'm gonna go with. Maybe this isn't a. All right, I'll super speed.
Super speed.
Just want to be a fast guy.
Okay.
Just
So you can run.
quick,
that's
fast.
perfect.
Guy.
That's perfect because you have flying, so you can just run on the runway
Yes,
as fast as you can, and then you're
yeah,
in the air.
I guess super speed and flying. That's like, I mean, like, you don't really need them both, right?
What'd be great is if you had super speed, but then when you start flying, you go unbelievably slow.
You fly like 1 mile an
Yeah.
hour. That'd be
That'd
great.
be good. Yeah.
Just like, yeah. You're like, oh my gosh. You're like, yeah, it's not a very efficient way. Like, I'll just drive. At that point,
Yeah.
I gotta just hop on a plane. Oh God, it's gonna take me 1,000 days to get to Topeka.
Oh,
man, that'd be great. No. Yeah, I mean, it's there, so I'm going to take it. So I'm gonna take. But can I retract it?
No.
Okay, all right, fine. I'll go super speed.
Okay. So. All right. So let's update. What do you have right now?
So I have mind. So I have flying, mind control, and super speed.
I'm going with mind reading. I am.
Sure.
Because
You want to read my mind?
Yeah. No, I don't want to know what goes on in your mind, but it would be nice in pretty much every other scenario.
Sure.
I mean, how much would you pay to be able to know what Bill Self's thinking on each possession? I mean, that's great.
I mean, you can probably you can kind
Yeah,
of tell
we
because
are-
he's yelling.
We
right?
are really making like we're not focused on the actual big problems of the world.
Sure.
It probably
No,
should
not
be.
at all. Yeah. You're not like you're not like the government could use you as like a secret spy, but you're like, no, hold on, wait.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what Bill Self thought on this third possession of the game against Texas
why
A&M
he was
Corpus
mad
Christi.
at this. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, no, mind reading. It'd be great. Like you walk into a room. We had a fantastic event here last night at
We
the
did.
new state-of-the-art Kansas Nation Studios. It'd be great to know what everybody's thinking in the room. Just kind of know, and it's not too much, right? Like you get to pick and choose when.
Sure.
Like you don't necessarily have to. You could be a normal person and just in your own mind.
Right.
But then if you decide, you know what, I got to know what this guy's thinking. Bam, got it at your fingertips.
Yeah, I respect that. I think that I just wouldn't want to know how many people think I'm annoying.
Yeah, well, there is that.
I mean, like I'm fine with not knowing. People think I'm annoying, I'm sure, right? I don't want to know. I don't want to know how many people think that I'm annoying. I don't want my feelings to get hurt, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm okay with that.
But again,
Now-
you have the power to choose when you want
Sure.
to know.
I just don't think I'd ever use it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Unless
I
I'm-
would definitely use it.
Unless I'm playing like charades.
Right. Pictionary.
You know, yeah,
Yeah.
right. I think that's like the only time it'll really be useful.
All right, that's fair.
Is mind reading.
My next one on a snake here is going to be a little bit different. I want the ability to memorize every single score and statistic from every game that's ever happened.
So good.
Just for essentially being known as that guy. Who knows? Like, I know some, and people think I know a lot, but like I don't know even like the Super Bowls. Like, I don't know who
Right.
played in Super Bowl 26. Like, I would like to know that immediately and know who won the MVP and remember just a ridiculous memory of remembering. Show Stump the Schwab on ESPN.
Yeah, I do.
God, that was so good.
Super Bowl 26. I'm willing to bet that was either the
I
49ers
bet the
or the
49ers
Cowboys.
were in it. I bet the 49ers were in
I'm
it.
willing to bet you that was the 49ers.
It
one.
was the Skins against the
Ah.
Buffalo Bills.
Oh, is that
one
the-
of the many that the Bills lost.
Yeah. Was that no? Was that the one that was like the highest or the biggest beatdown in Super Bowl history?
Wikipedia has the winner as the Washington Commanders.
Nice.
Hmm.
Football team.
How about that?
I like that one. That's a good one. I respect that because like you could
It'd be
conversate
nice
with
to just know.
anybody.
Yeah.
Like,
And
oh
you,
my
and
gosh,
you'd be known
yeah.
as the guy. See,
Like, you
not
remember-
everything is mind reading. It's just, sometimes you just want to have a little extra
Yeah.
superpower.
Like, hey man, you remember when Bucknell took on Vermont back in 2011?
Yeah.
They beat them 85 to
Oh man,
24.
John Jones went off that game. I can't tell you.
John Jones.
John Jones, yes, not a real guy.
Okay. I have two back to back here. I mean, there's a lot of like, there's a lot of like really good ones. I think that I probably should pick that I'm going to be leaving out.
Okay.
I'm going to go with communication with animals.
Mm.
Because if we're actually going fight to the death here, like
Then my stats pick is not going to be a good one.
bears of the world. Attack Sean Kellerman.
Right, exactly.
Like, it's like, you know what I mean? I mean, gosh, that's you're toast. You're absolute toast.
Plus, I mean, but you already have mind control, so you could control the Bears' minds already.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking,
What if
exclusively
I
human.
could communicate with animals, but they just didn't listen to me?
Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah, I'm like,
I have a feeling
hey,
that's a realistic
you
possibility.
Wild coyote, attack this guy, and the coyote's like, no. Why would I do that?
Right.
You insane? I'm gonna go back over here. Yeah. Communication with animals would be fun. I want to know what's going through the mind of my dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Which, granted, I think both of them, if I were to understand their minds, it would just be like monkeys playing a cymbal.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're very, very dumb dogs. They might be the dumbest dogs.
Cute though, right?
Yeah. Cute as a button.
Cute as a button.
They're adorable. We're letting Max sleep in our bed now. By the way.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
He's the cutest little man. He'll put his head on my shoulder. It's great.
Adorable, man.
It's so fun.
Good for you. I'm proud of you.
It's great. And then, man, again, there's so many good ones, but I don't want to feel like hacky. Like I want good fun ones. I'm gonna go with. See, I was gonna go with teleportation, but also like I can fly and I can run really fast, so I don't really need teleportation.
It's true.
You have time manipulation, which I think is good. I want to control the weather.
I like that.
I think that's a good one.
I like that one.
Control the weather.
Yes. Would it ever be 48 and rainy?
Never.
No.
So natural disasters, no more.
Done.
Thanks to me.
Yes.
You know, always sunny, 75
I
degrees.
love it, man. You've got a nice little thing going here because you've got mind control, which is humans, communicate with animals, which I guess that's not really controlling them, but it's close, and then
it's
also
close.
controlling the weather.
Yes.
So you're hitting on everything.
Mhm.
I like it. Okay, well, expand a little bit on the weather. Like, what do you want and when?
I want like there are some days like what if I want like a cozy day in? Because like
It's like you have an app
so-
on your phone to decide what the weather is.
Right,
Like
right.
You roll out of bed, you're like, it's a Sunday.
Yeah.
I want it to be a little overcast.
Yeah, a little overcast, maybe a slight rain, but it's not too cold outside.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm snuggled up with a blanket and hot chocolate, watching a Christmas movie,
Perfect.
and it's July 4th.
Right.
You know, like that's like I can do that. I would be able to do that. I think that's fantastic. No,
I love all the
again,
seasons, so I'd be
so-
pretty boring because
so
I'd keep it pretty similar.
that's the thing.
But it would never
like,
be rainy and cold.
It's almost kind of like time manipulation. It's like like for summer, like I get tired of the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't have it hot all the time, and I wouldn't have it 75 and sunny all the time. Like maybe there are some days where I'm like, hey, I want to go sledding.
Yeah.
You know, give me 2.5 inches of nice snow cover, and I want to go sledding, or I want to make a snow angel, or build a snowman,
Totally.
or something, right? Or you're like, oh, hey, well, how about this? I miss when the flowers on the trees are blooming and they're all pink in the spring. Give me that. Boom, right there, done for.
I like it, and I like, controlling the weather. I check the weather often.
Plus,
It
you know what I
does-
would
I'm
do in a
big-
fight to the death? Tornado, right there on
But
you.
bears already killed me.
You're done.
So,
You're
I don't
absolutely
know how
done.
I'm gonna
You
bounce
are
back.
Done for, dude.
But yeah, I like it. I think I'm pretty boring in terms of weather. Like I like all the seasons. You and I've talked about this.
Sure,
I
yeah.
just there's certain
Top 10 seasons.
like if it's Monday, we still need to do top 10 months at some point.
I know.
Like if it's Monday, I don't want to walk out and it's a gloomy day. Like it's already gloomy because it's Monday. Like make the sun bright and beaming. And you know what's happening on Christmas Day, Dan? You will never ever guess what I would make the weather do on Christmas Day.
Snow.
Yes,
Of course.
you got it.
White
Man, I didn't
Christmas.
expect it. Yeah,
I
I'm
get
telling you,
that.
man.
I like that.
So no, that's good. Is it me or you now?
You have your last two.
I have my last two. Okay, well, the next one I'm going with is kind of a cross between a lot of the superheroes, I would say.
Sure.
Give me super agility, reflexes,
Interesting.
balance, coordination.
Super
At all
agility.
things.
I like that.
Yeah, so I just would be able to, I've got a little bit of Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah.
Like
always,
you
you're like
be
a
on,
cat.
you can be
You
on
always
the
land
walls.
on your feet.
Yeah, always
Yeah.
land on my feet. Like Spider-Man can be on the walls, can be on the ceiling.
Kind of like Tate Nagy.
Very bouncy. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly like Tate Nagy.
A
A little bit like Matt Tate.
Right.
Like there's a little bit of everything there,
A
right?
little bit of everything. Yeah. I like that. So coordination.
Yeah.
Is pretty much the main one, right?
Yeah.
And you
It is, yeah. But being able to
like
keep
you
going
can
back
like
to like climbing
you
the
can
walls.
like scale a tree.
Yeah, scale a tree, scale a building.
Yeah, that's good.
That'd be good.
That's good. I like
so
that a
I don't
lot.
know. I like my list so far. I got one more, and I know the realm that I want to do, but I don't know exactly what the superpower would be. I think it would just have to be
Have a constant have constant Frank Mason 2016, 2017 highlights playing in your head.
right. No, I think I'm gonna keep it simple because I can weave what I want into this,
Sure.
and I'm just gonna go with teleporting.
Teleporting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I wanted to do something related to
So,
vacations.
In terms of it teleporting in terms of anywhere or because you have time
Go-
manipulation too.
yeah,
So you could teleport to a specific. I mean that's
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 good.
like peanut butter and jelly.
that's
right
good.
there.
But
That's
like right
good.
now, I could teleport to Aruba or somebody if I wanted to.
Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take it.
Yes.
Yeah. You went to your honeymoon. To
I
Aruba,
did. I did
yeah?
white sand.
So you don't want to go to
beaches.
somewhere that you haven't been.
Aruba was the first thing that came to mind.
Well, but like Italy.
I'm just saying I said Aruba because it was the first thing that came to mind.
Sure.
I don't
I get
actually
that.
want to go back there. It was fine. I mean, people were fine.
Jeez,
But no, like if I wanted to go to Dunedin, Florida, like I could be there right now. If I wanted to go to Amarillo, Texas,
Done.
if I wanted to go to Boise, Idaho, and if I wanted to go to Istanbul,
Shreveport.
no. I've had too many domestic trips. I don't wanna go to Shreveport.
No,
Yeah.
you don't. You
They
can,
host a bowl still, don't they?
they certainly do. It's the Radiance Technologies.
I will be there if the birds are
That's right.
selected.
That's right. You don't. And you could. Here's the crazy thing. You could go to Carbondale, Kansas anytime.
Anytime
you
I
want.
wanted. I could go to that Town Talk bar that you guys talked
Four
about.
Corners.
No.
No, that's it.
Four
It's-
Corners was the one in Chapel Hill I went to.
No.
Four Corners is the one you worked at?
Oh no, that's
Town-
Emporia.
Oh, okay.
It's Town Royal.
Town
is the
Royal.
name of the
Okay.
name of the bar.
Gotcha. Anyway,
Four Corners is the name of the restaurant in the country outside of Carbondale.
got it.
Yes.
All right. What's your last pick?
A lot of pressure on me for this last pick. I don't like having them in a vacuum. See, like Laser Vision's there, right? Super Strength is there, and that's like, right there. But also I have all of the animal kingdom in my side. Like I don't need.
God, I feel like my list is better.
I don't need super strength. This is so tough. I have omnilingual on there, just being able to understand
That's good.
all
Yeah.
languages. I think that'd be a fun one. I hate that I'm doing this because I wanted more of a fun one.
You go on invisibility. Invisibility is gonna be first team all snub.
So invisibility is on my list. I'm gonna go with make every single 3-pointer I ever shoot.
Nice.
Is that a good one?
You would never lose a game of pig.
I would never lose a game of pig.
That's
make
fair.
any shot, make every single basketball shot ever
Okay.
I ever shoot.
Of all the things you could do,
Mhm.
you know what? I'll take it. I respect that. I've got
'Cause
the
I've already
stats one
won.
on here.
I've already won.
Yeah, true. I'm already dead. I've got time manipulation. This is the draft of superpowers. I've got time manipulation, telekinesis, mind reading, super agility, teleporting, and the ability to remember every score and all stats from every game.
That's a good one. I have flying, mind control, super speed, communication with animals, controlling the weather, and making every single basketball shot. What are some
Okay.
snubs? Like, I mean, super
invisibility
strength,
is a snub.
I mean, there's a lot. Like, I don't know, just being made of rock. You know,
Having KansasNation.com updated automatically no matter what happens.
That'd be a great one.
Yeah.
Being able to be really stretchy, like,
yeah,
you know?
super. Although I've got like
of
elasticity.
Spider-Man's powers, really.
I know. So I've got one of them.
Shooting a web.
Spider-Man's awesome.
He's great. He's my favorite superhero.
I think he's mine too.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I
I'm
went
a
as
big fan.
I went as Spider-Man like 5 years in a row for Halloween, and that was in my 20s.
Yeah, right. That was this year. Yeah. Anyway, that's our fantasy draft of superpowers. Hope that you guys enjoyed that segment. After this, we are going to go back to KU football as School Jayhawks segment featuring Emma Noble and
Dean Miller.
Yeah, KU's edge rusher, Dean Miller and Emma Noble. After this on Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City. Special segment here on Rock Chalk Sports and KansasNation.com. School Jayhawks. You've probably seen a few of these segments during football season. Last week, Emma Noble of the KU Journalism School had a chance to sit down with KU defensive end Dean Miller. Let's hear that conversation.
Hi guys, Emma Noble here. I got the chance to talk to defensive end Dean Miller as a part of School Jayhawks for Kansas Nation. It was a great interview with some laughs for sure. Take a look. Hello guys, Emma Noble here with School Jayhawks. Dean Miller sitting beside me, defensive end for Kansas football. So happy to be here. Dean, how's your day been?
It's been great. How's yours been?
Good. It's been great. Beautiful weather, right?
It has been.
I'm going to start this interview off pretty serious with some serious journalism. What was your Halloween costume?
Ooh, my Halloween costume? I had a couple, but my favorite one, I was a NASCAR racer.
NASCAR racer?
Yeah.
Who was he? Did you have a driver?
It was just, no, I wasn't a specific driver, just pretty, generic costume.
That's fun. That's fun. Dean, to get to know you a little bit better, I don't want to even go down the football rabbit hole quite yet.
Okay.
I have prepared some fast hit questions for you.
Okay.
So let's go through these. Ready?
Let's do it.
Typical grocery list.
Ooh,
Top
grocery
3
list.
items that have to be in your cart.
All right. Chocolate milk, steak, and potatoes.
Chocolate milk, steak, and potatoes.
Mhm.
Great meal.
It's a go-to.
Fills you up.
It does.
How strict are you with your diet?
Ooh, since I'm just trying to meet certain calorie counts, I'm not completely strict. Like I said, that chocolate milk, I'll be drinking that all day, literally all day. So not too strict. Obviously, got to make sure I'm eating the right protein and carbohydrates, things like that. But I wouldn't say I'm on a strict, set meal every single day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say that a lot of the football team is?
Probably
Or are there guys
a little
more
more
strict?
so, more than me.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to meet the amount of calories intake that I am, it's kind of, you can't eat 9,000 calories of chicken and rice. You know what I'm saying? So,
You got to get some chocolate milk in there.
Yeah, sometimes you
See?
need a burger and fries and a milkshake. You know
Literally,
what I'm saying?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Dream NFL team.
Ooh, there's a couple, but I'll just bring it back to the Los Angeles Rams, where I'm from.
Okay. You're from LA.
I am.
Wow. And so how did the recruiting process look for from LA to come to Kansas?
Yeah, I mean, straight out of high school, went to my hometown junior college for one season. Kind of got recruited out from there. First coaches to come on campus, Coach O, my defensive ends coach.
Yes.
So that was good, of course. Kind of just started building a connection with him and the rest of the coaching staff, and really just really just felt the love from here. Sorry about that. Just
No.
felt the love from here, and that's ultimately why I chose to come here.
That's great. Hardest part about being a D1 athlete?
Ooh, I would say the schedule. It's a pretty demanding schedule. I mean, obviously we have early wake ups. I'm up at 5 a.m. every single morning.
Every single morning.
Oh, every single morning. That's a normal day for me. Yeah.
When do you stop football?
When do I stop football?
When do you go from that student part from student athlete?
Yeah, I would say I kind of check out of football around 5-6 p.m. That's when I'm usually trying to get all my film watched, all my rehab, my treatment, all that good stuff. So that's when I can kind of start shutting down from that and turning on the more, school side and whatnot.
Okay. And if you were on Aux, what's the first song being played?
Oh, shoot. Dang. It depends who I'm playing Aux for, but I'll give you an artist. My main artist is Gunna.
Gunna?
Okay.
That seems to be popular amongst the teammates.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you hear it a lot in the locker room?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
I would feel like Gunna is popular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I have another little thing we're going to do.
Okay.
It's called Which Teammate? I'm going to ask you a question, and you correlate your response with the first teammate that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay? Which teammate is most likely to play another sport?
Ooh. Alex Bray.
Okay. Which teammate gets into the most arguments with coach?
Ooh. Taylor Davis.
Ooh. Which one sticks to the strictest diet?
Strictest diet? I would say, let's go Lyric Rawls.
Okay. And we heard you are Gunna, but who has the craziest Aux?
Craziest Aux?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to say my guy, Justice Finkley.
What's he playing?
Honestly, everything. And that's why it's the craziest, because it could be one rap song and then it will literally switch to some classical music right after that. It's pretty random.
Maybe
sometimes.
some theater songs in there.
Yeah, it's like all over the place, but he knows what he's doing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, Dean, here's this game. We're going to play a game called Wavelength, everyone. And what you do, Dean, is you're going to think of a number, or I will think of a number. If my number was 7, you're going to say, give me a soda. A 7 would be like a Dr. Pepper.
Sure.
Okay? So I would say 7, and you would be like, okay, that's like a 7, like an 8.
Okay.
Do you want to think of a number? Think of a number.
Okay. Let's go 10.
No, you don't tell me the number.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Keep it in your head, okay? Think of a number 1 through 10. You have it?
I have it now.
Give me a movie that would be this number.
All right. Happy Gilmore.
Ooh, okay. Good movie. Good movie. Give me a gas station snack.
And I got to keep it the same number, right?
Same number the whole time. Rank it based off the number.
Regular Doritos.
Ooh, that's like, that's bumping it up a little bit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm trying to be on the same wavelength.
You tell me.
Right now, my realm, I'm thinking 6.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to ask 2 more questions.
Let's do it.
An NFL team.
Dallas Cowboys.
Okay. That bumps it down for me specifically, but I don't know what I'm working with here.
Interesting.
Okay. Born and raised Kansas City. I can't go for the Cowboys.
Dang.
But I understand the hype.
Might be throwing her off a little bit.
Okay, my last question. Give me a restaurant in Lawrence.
Free State.
Fire. Okay.
So that just bumped it back up a little?
It bumped it up for sure.
Okay.
Here's my guess.
Okay.
7? 6?
Final guess.
Okay, sorry.
Which one?
6. 7. 8.
Is this where I tell you?
Tell me.
It's an 8.
I knew it.
All right.
I knew it. Okay, well, that was my game of Wavelength.
All right. I feel like
Was it enjoyable?
No, it was. And I feel like I kind of threw you off
The
a little bit.
Doritos threw me off.
Damn.
Who's ranking regular Doritos at 8? Like,
Me.
I'm sorry.
I am. Me.
Regular Doritos?
Yes. That's like a solid, that's like a classic.
I guess. Cool Ranch?
Yeah, but then that would have been like a 9. So,
Okay, that's valid. No, that's really smart.
You feel me? I didn't want to
That's smart.
had to try and get you right.
Let's get back into the real questions here, Dean.
Sure.
You have not that many games left on the schedule for this season. What is the one thing on your head that you want to end this season on come your very last game?
I mean, the main thing for me is a win, obviously. first thing to do is get that bowl eligibility,
Mm-hmm.
get a bid into the bowl, and then I want to go dominate whichever bowl we get picked into. So I feel like ending on a win would just be the best thing possible to end the season on.
Mm-hmm. And can you just tell me a little bit about the overall vibe with the team and with your teammates who you see constantly, the coaches, what's all going through your guys' head coming into a close to the season?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody's super hungry. Everybody wants to go out there and dominate these last couple games we have and maximize the opportunities. Like you said, for us seniors, there's not a lot of time left, so it's all about just making the most of it and enjoying the time with your brothers, but also knowing when it's time to step out on the field as business. So, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to handle that.
And what are you going to work on personally for your next games to hopefully get to that bowl game and finish strong with the win?
For sure. I would just say just continue to try and be physically dominant, you know, flying around the field, making plays, making hits, making tackles, and just doing my 111, making sure my job is executed every single play. And I feel like if I do that, then it'll only just increase our chances to win.
Great. My last question for you guys. If you could describe this football team with one word, what would you use?
I would say versatile.
Wow,
Yeah,
versatile.
I feel like we just have so many players from all around the country. We brought in a lot of different guys, so it's kind of just been a locker room just meshing together and learning each other, figuring each other out, just vibing with each other. It's been really interesting. It's been a really fun time with my teammates.
It's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
We can see, I mean, the new booth, all the new players. It's been fun.
It's exciting.
Thank you guys for joining us with this edition of Jayhawk Journalists. It's been a great time. Well, that was my talk. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for next week's edition of J School Jayhawks.
Good stuff there from Emma Noble from the KU J School and KU defensive end Dean Miller. Hey, more coming up on Rock Chalk Sports right after this on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City. Well, it's signing day. Past couple days. First segment of the day, we broke down the KU men's basketball, but we've got KU women's basketball news, some signees officially, KU volleyball, and KU softball as well. Why don't you start us off, Dan, with KU softball news?
Yeah, KU softball, they got 5 girls to sign on National Signing Day, starting off with Daniela Gloria. She's a right-handed pitcher out of Apache Junction, Arizona. She had 15 wins, recorded nearly 500 strikeouts and 288 innings pitched while maintaining a 3.25 ERA. Really impressive stuff. Also a really good hitter as well. She had a 384 batting average. So, I mean, she's kind of a do-it-all kind of player with Daniela Gloria. Really excited for her to join the squad. McKenna Jackson, she's an infielder from Keller, Texas, hit 475, 525 on base percentage. She had 57 hits, 68 RBIs, and 56 home runs in 36 games. That's really impressive stuff from McKenna Jackson. Jocelyn Alatorre, she's an outfielder out of Orange County, California. Shout out to Henry Greenstein. She has a 530 batting average in her recent club season, 20 runs and 25 herself. I mean, really impressive outfielder as well. Kind of on the defensive end of the ball, she's really quick and can do a lot of stuff in that outfield. And then Niley Ball, she's an infielder and an outfielder from Georgetown, Texas. Kind of a utility player, as Jennifer McFalls would like to say. 565 slugging percentage is 1.160 in her most recent season. 11 home runs, 8 triples, driving in runs at a consistent clip. Shelby Stevens is the last one to join this Kansas softball squad on signing day. She's a catcher and an infielder. She hit 446, 510 on base percentage, 82 hits, 66 RBIs in 65 games. In 2024-2025, she batted 647 with a 1.412 slugging percentage, broke Navarro's single season home run record with 11 home runs. So a really impressive selection of girls to be joining this Kansas softball squad.
KU volleyball also announcing 5 additions to the 2026 recruiting class. They're adding pin hitters Taylor Stanley, Avery Polton, Tessa Dodd, Ryan Sadler, as well as middle blocker Jaylee Rutledge. This class bringing national team experience, all-state recognition, and high-level club competition to Lawrence. KU head volleyball coach Matt Ulmer saying, quote, "This is a wonderful class of student athletes. We're bringing in a lot of physicality at each hitter position along the net. This group is hungry to grow, and I'm confident they will make a great impact on our program," end quote. So, yeah, a lot of pin hitters and a middle blocker as well for Coach Ulmer. And that's not surprising because KU is going to be losing a lot of talented players. They're also going to be losing setter Katie Dalton, but they have Kristen Klein as well, kind of waiting in the wings on that front, and Logan Bell, a talented freshman who can potentially slide into that libero spot once Ryan White has her career done. Libero is actually how it's pronounced, believe it or not.
True?
It is.
I've always said libero.
No, the official, everybody says libero, but it's actually pronounced libero. I know. I did PA for 5 years, and these ladies, these officials who sat next to me at the old Horge, they said that, it's actually pronounced libero. But
is it a Latin word?
I don't know. I don't know.
Could you use it
if you were omnilinguist or
omnilingual? Yes.
Omnilingual, then you would probably know.
I should have picked that as my superpower.
But anyway, shout out to Matt Ulmer and KU Volleyball, and they've got a big one coming up, the Dillon Sunflower Showdown. They need to get K-State back after they knocked us off at Allen Fieldhouse. KU Volleyball has won 9 of 10. Kansas women's basketball as well, fresh off their win last night, Dan. They signed a couple new players as well, Molly Ernstes and Brooklyn Wren. What can you tell us about them?
Yeah, Molly Ernstes, she's kind of fascinating. She's 6 foot. She's from North Vernon, Indiana. A 3-star prospect, number 84 in the class of 26 by 24/7 Sports. Number 5 ranked prospect in the entire state of Indiana. So really excited about her. And then Brooklyn Wren, she's a 4-star prospect. I mean, Brandon Schneider has been on a run of 4-star prospects, both on ESPNW and 24/7 Sports. She's number 71 in ESPNW and number 72 player of the year in the class of 2026. So 2 girls who are really going to be highlighting this, and it seems like he just keeps on getting fantastic freshman classes. I would assume there's potentially going to be more coming, but these are the 2 that signed on signing day. I know Kansas, they hosted Addison Bjorn, who I believe is she's top 5. I know I remember she's the number 1 player in the recruiting class of 2026, but she's a 5-star recruit. She was on campus on Saturday, still hasn't committed yet, but she came to Kansas on a visit, and that's really exciting stuff. So yes, Brooklyn Wren, she's 6'3" from Sellersburg, Indiana. So really excited about her and Molly Ernstes.
Well, if there are any future additions to any KU programs, which I'm sure there will be, you'll hear about it first here on Rock Chalk Sports. Going to do some Thursday night football game picks, plus a couple college basketball games that Dan will give some game picks for. We alluded to this at the beginning of the show, and we'll have Brian Hanni, voice of the Jayhawks, on next segment here in studio.
Noted Patriots fan.
Noted Patriots fan, absolutely. Yeah. And Patriots are minus 12.5 at home against the New York Football Jets. Over-under is 43.5. Public thinks the Jets have no chance in this one, as the money line is at plus 625. If you think the Patriots are going to win, it's going to cost you $95 to win $10, as they are minus 950. Daniel, what are your thoughts on this game and any game props that you like?
Yeah, I mean, dude, we talk about it a lot. Like, any game line that's over like 7.5 in the NFL just seems like a lot. This is... I mean, there's no chance that the New York Jets.
We'll cut this out.
We'll cut this out. I mean, it's 12.5. The public loves that line, by the way. The Patriots minus 12.5 is at minus 115. Jets plus 12.5 is at minus 105. So the public is going to continue to bet this line up and up and up. I don't know where the breaking point is. I don't think it's here. Give me the Patriots in this one. They're going to steamroll them. I bet this is a game where they pull Drake May out early, because they're beating him that bad. Travion Henderson, I love him to score a touchdown. Is at minus 170. Feels right. Could be potentially first touchdown. The defense for the Jets is terrible after they got rid of Quinn Williams as well as Sauce Gardner. So I think they're going to be able to run down the ball all the way down to the red zone. Travion Henderson's going to punch it in for the first score of the game. That's at plus 370. I like him anytime touchdown. I don't like giving out first touchdown bets, but I like Travion Henderson in this one. Did you see him, by the way, last week? He broke through and he looked over to the sideline to see if it was okay to score, because they would have given the other team some more time. So love that. Drake May, it has been fantastic all year long. Is at 240 plus passing yards, is at minus 101 right now. It depends on how bad they're beating them, but I love him to go over that number.
Give me Breece Hall anytime touchdown plus 185. I think there's value there. Hey, just a couple college basketball games we're going to get to tonight and get your thoughts on. Number 2, Purdue at number 8, Alabama. Top 10 matchup. Bama is minus 3.5, over under 173.5.
Yeah, I mean, Purdue coming in as an underdog. I kind of like that out of Purdue. You and I talked about this beforehand, about how Purdue was the number 1 team in the nation preseason. And we both looked at it and we're like, this is not a team that can win the national championship.
Right.
Right. I mean, Braden Smith is
Like, there's no world where Purdue actually wins the national
right.
championship.
Exactly. So I just don't see it. I think Alabama is a really solid squad. A lot of the money is on Alabama, but the public loves Purdue on this line. It's at +3.5. It's at -118. Give me Purdue to cover. I think it's going to be really close. I love Trey Kaufman-Renn, though, to go over 21. That's at -105.
8 o'clock, K-State hosting Cal. Cats are -6.5, over under 163.5.
Give me the Fighting Henry Greensteins. California is going to win this one outright +245.
I thought he was from Orange County. It's still
It's California.
It's in the same state.
It's just Cal. I like this one. Now, look, I think PJ Haggerty is really good. I think he's shown some really good stuff. It's hard for me to ever think that a Jerome Tang team is going to perform the way that they should perform. They should be good. They're going to be bad this year. So give me Cal.
All right. Hey, after this, we're going to close out the show by bringing in the voice of the Jayhawks, Brian Hanni, here in studio to talk KU basketball signing day, give his thoughts on Darren Peterson, and hopefully a healthy rest of the season for DP, and maybe a KU football question as well. That's all coming up after this on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Sean Kellerman and Dan Courtwright with you. Pleased now to be joined in studio by Brian Hanni, the voice of the Jayhawks. BH, thanks for making some time for us. Again, a lot to get into. Busy season, crossover season. Let's start, though, with the 4 names that are going to be joining Kansas basketball next season. I'll let you kind of take over. A lot of excitement, a lot of buzz around these guys, and a little bit of everything in this upcoming class.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, kudos to Coach Self and his staff. They just continue to have one big class after another. Obviously, the biggest of the names that everybody was most excited about was Taylon Kenny, and you see a guy at point guard who can go get his, but also facilitate for others. I think the word that Coach Self used was his transition to D1 hoops should be seamless as a scoring guard that is really dynamic in so many ways. Great personality, too, kind of a face of the program type guy to take that baton from Darren Peterson a year from now, but also step into a situation that we expect a lot of talented returnees around him that he'll seamlessly transition to fit in with while still being able to facilitate for KU. So you're talking about a guy rated as high as number 13 in his class, depending on which set of rankings. Does Kansas Nation have an official rankings partner?
We don't. So feel free to use whichever outlet you'd like.
It's funny, you go on other shows, they're like, well, we prefer to use 24/7
Right,
Sports.
right.
Yeah, right.
More of a rival show.
Right.
But,
We'll have our own ranking and just KU be at the top every single time.
I like it. But hey, Overtime Elite, how much have they tapped that?
Wow.
pipeline
Oh
of
my
late?
gosh.
3 on the current team, and here's another one from Overtime Elite. And so it's great to see, the immediate returns some of the current Overtime Elite guys have provided for Kansas, and then to keep that connection coming as these guys come here, win a lot of games, have a positive experience, leave better players that are more draftable because of their time under this Hall of Fame coaching staff. It just lends you to more and more opportunities with that pipeline. So I think that's been tremendous. Obviously, Trent Perry's a guy out of Branson that's top 80 guy that they say proven winner, guy that's going to step in and help you in a multitude of ways. They just love, the winning pedigree he comes in with. I think the one that maybe doesn't have as much hype on the list as some others, but then when you hear best shooter since Grady Dick, suddenly there is hype.
Yeah.
So, you don't necessarily have the top 25 ranking with a Luke Barnett, but when Coach Self throws out that kind of praise for this California kid who's just got tremendous range, consistency, and clutch shooting capabilities, we need that, right? We've been trying to hit that in the portal ever since Grady left, and not saying he's going to be Grady right away, but when Coach Self throws a comparison out there to say best shooter since, then you step up and take notice. And then with Adkins, big body, 6'9", what is he, 205 currently? He'll get even stronger working with Ramsey Nijum. Power forward that can play down low, but also versatile enough to beat you stepping back. And so I think, a guy originally from Texas is now playing at Prolific Prep that they think really has a high ceiling, that he's only scratching the surface of what he can be. And that versatility at the 4-man spot, I think, is really enticing on top of a big frame. So 4 guys that all bring a little bit of something different, each and every one of them. And again, to see what this staff has been able to do with Coach Self and KT and some of the guys that have been here for a while, but then you add in a Tony Bland, you add in a Jacques Vaughn. Guys want to come here and play, get that kind of coaching, both with the tried and true Hall of Fame Bill Self player development, but now also you add in the NBA coaching experience that Jacques Vaughn brings and the NBA player producing pedigree there. And then you add in the connections that Coach Bland has and what that's meant. I mentioned KT, obviously Joe Dooley and Jeremy Case, a big part of the staff too. So can you think of a time where you had a better overall recruiting prowess? And by that, I mean, okay, first off, our bench is deeper with assistant coaches now. Now that you have 5 assistant coaches, but then they all bring something a little bit different, from connections, from coaching experience, from player evaluation to player development. I mean, this is a stacked deck of recruiters at Kansas. And maybe that's what we should spend more time talking about than the 4 young men, because I think they're versatile in their respective skill sets, in attracting talent, recruiting talent, developing talent. And so, folks are wondering in season 23, is Coach Self slowing down at all in the way he's going out and selling Kansas basketball and recruiting guys to our program? Not in the slightest. You could argue this coaching staff is as good as we've had in terms of assembling a group to go out and build upon this juggernaut that is Kansas basketball.
Yeah, well said for sure. As we're looking forward to these guys, and certainly very blessed to have so many talented recruiters and coaches on this Kansas basketball staff. So we'll kind of put a pin in that for now and focus on this year's Kansas basketball team. Of course, Brian, story of the game, DL and I are out there for Crimson and Blue Show, and we see Darren Peterson walking out with his warm-ups on, and we heard what Coach Self said, so we don't need to go into too much detail. Coach saying hopefully he would be back at practice, which is today, Thursday, and then back for Princeton. It's unfortunate that he's had to deal with so many things the first 3, 4, 5 games, however many you want to call it. But this Kansas team did get an opportunity, an extended one, to go out and play without him. What did you like against Corpus Christi? And certainly I know that you're sending good vibes, as the rest of us are, to get DP back out there.
Yeah. And let me just say up front, I have loved being around Darren Peterson, and his family's been at every game. It's been fun to get to know his mom and his little brother and interact with his whole crew. But for anybody that's been like, man, what's going on? This is so frustrating. Has him for one game, we don't have him the next. Let me just say, he wants to be out there. I see the great teammate he is. Whether you're the co-star in a Flory Bidunga or the guy at the end of the bench, man, he treats everybody the same way with the most intentionality and dapping up each guy coming down the line. And so it's been neat to see a superstar who at the same time is a really good teammate. And I really enjoy the dynamic around this group with Darren a part of it. So frustrating to see the lingering, availability issues, but I think you have obviously a generational talent that they're just not wanting to take too many chances with something that could flare up like that. As Coach Self said, whether it's a little bit of tightness in the hamstring and they just don't want to push the envelope or play their cards wrong with Duke looming large a week later. So they're being very cautious here. Are they being overly precautious? I don't know. I don't know the situation like anybody on the inside might, but I will tell you, honestly, we were surprised when that was the case on Monday or Tuesday night, because when we left practice that morning, when we taped pregame midday, the expectation was he was going to play. So I think the good news is you've got a coaching staff that, as has always been the case at Kansas, you put the players' best interest at the top and in the immediate, but also the long term. Don't push the envelope now and end up losing him for a couple of weeks because he flared up and really aggravated the thing. So I like the coach's approach, and we can afford to be cautious in this portion of the schedule. Let's see if we can get him ramped up here as we head into Madison Square Garden on Tuesday. And who knows about Saturday versus Princeton? Honestly, don't know. It was good to see, though, the other players step up and perform like we know they can. And Cole Rosario is the first name that comes to the forefront of the mind. You saw it right away. This guy's throwing down alley-oops where his chin's above the rim, and you're seeing that elite athleticism step to the forefront. We've been talking about that since he arrived on campus in June. that he comes flying in from the wing, jumping over guys to get offensive rebounds and extend possessions, steal extra possessions, that kind of thing. And then you see the elite athleticism on the transition breakaways where he's rocking the rim and throwing it home. And I think when those first couple of contributions are made for a guy that's still getting comfortable and settling in, it's easier to hit jump shots later in the game when you've already made some great
Right.
hustle plays and rim finishes early in the game. Suddenly that basket looks a little bit wider, right? So I love to see the way they established him early and got him settled in, and then he was off to the races from there. But you saw it with some other players too over the course of the evening that all found ways to step up and make contributions here or there. And you would expect that in a game where you've got size and athleticism advantages across the board. But it was a team in Texas A&M Corpus Christi that you knew would want to play at a frenetic pace. You knew they would want to heat you up. Could you do the same? Kansas did, and they labored to score. I mean, they barely got north of 30% shooting for the game, and some of that came late when the game was put to bed. They barely got north of 40 points scored for the game, and obviously that came late. I can't think of too many calls I've had where it's the under 4 media timeout and the opposition is still in the 30s.
Yeah.
So great defense. And that goes back to something that Bill Self said in the pregame. And maybe this is the clip you want to use for your social media. All right. He said, hey, we're trying to establish an identity right now. Are we going to be this big, physically imposing 7 foot, 260-pound front court that leans on you and wears you down? Probably not. We got some good big guys, but they're more the bouncy, wiry types with great vertical leaps and long wingspan. Are we going to be the team that has all 5 players on the floor, lighting you up from 3, scorching the nets, and we're hitting 15 or 16 threes in a given game? Right now, probably not that either. But do we have the athleticism and the speed and the ability to turn it up a notch and play with the tenacity, heat you up, lock you down, make you uncomfortable type of style that forces the other team to play bad, whether they're turning it over or just missing shots or never settling in because we're turned up and the crowd is too. And suddenly we're imposing our will with tenacity and all out want to. That's the immediate identity that this particular group is built to be. And if they embrace that, they can be that as soon as tomorrow. All right. The other stuff you might grow into in time, at least the shooting side of it. But that's the identity he wanted them to take on. And obviously that's going to look easier versus A&M Corpus Christi than it'll look versus Duke on Tuesday night. But I think we saw some buy-in on that. And that to me was the most positive outside of Cole's breakout coming out of Tuesday.
Yeah, 100%. Brian Hanni, voice of the Jayhawks, joins the show here in studio. I was going to ask you about the identity, but you answered that question. So another big question that we've had, and we've had a number of different guys who have shown that they could potentially be it, but the biggest question is, where is that consistent scoring going to come from? Aside from Darren Peterson, right? And we saw Cole Rosario. We've seen Bryson Tiller, be that guy. Is there anybody who you feel like just hasn't been able to break through that barrier yet that you think could potentially be that number 1 guy, or is it just kind of the usual suspects?
The number 1 to be the number 2?
Yes, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Trey White's on that list. Coach Self said the other day that there's 5 or 6 players that could be that player on any given night. The 2-man game between DP and Flory has the chance to be the most consistent, and the way that DP can command attention and find ways to get the ball downhill, slide the help side defense over and throw it up for a lob to BT or Flory or whoever, Paul in there. That's going to be fun to watch as the season goes on. But I think when you talk about secondary scorers, Cole Rosario outside of Flory, along with Bryson Tiller, Trey White, Melvin Council, they're all in that conversation. There will be a game where Omarco rises up and gets you 12 or 13 points with some transitional opportunities and all that. Haven't seen it yet from him. And I asked Greg Gurley the other night, I said, what's the optimal sophomore season for Omarco? And he said, be that first guy off the bench that comes in and gives you great minutes, playing to your athleticism, maybe gets 7 or 8 points a game. I think he could get 8 or 9 points a game on a regular basis deeper in the year once he's a little bit more established, not because he's some dynamic spot-up shooter that's thrown in a bunch of threes, but because when KU wants to get out and go and turn defense into offense, that's a guy that can make plays on the move. You saw it, Sean, in the highlights you called in the Louisville game. And so he would be on that list as well. But I think there's 5 or 6 guys clearly that could be that for Kansas, most notably Flory, and then BT, Trey White, Cole Rosario, Melvin Council, all kind of filling in after that in that secondary role.
Yeah, looking forward to kind of getting those questions answered, and we should be asking those questions on November 11th. And we shouldn't have everything answered, but it was good seeing, to your point, BH. If you take away the second half against UNC, and you hate that phrase in sports because you can't, but this has been a really good defensive team for KU, and we'll see moving forward. I mean, Fort Hays is Fort Hays, but they scored 35. You mentioned Corpus Christi had just 46. Akron hung 104 on Princeton earlier this season. So excited to see what the offense can do against the Tigers on Saturday. And I want to ask you about Princeton. And certainly we're not going to look ahead to Duke, but your excitement to get to Madison Square, since we won't have you on before Tuesday, and KU's recent success, I guess extended success in the Champions Classic, and a good opportunity for this team to get that marquee win early.
Yeah, it would be great to get one since we didn't get the one in Chapel Hill. And obviously the Boozer Peterson talk is going to be huge. So here's hoping that the DP's feeling 100% at that point, and you can really see him turn it loose. Because as we've said since the moment he committed, this is a bright lights, big stage kind of guy where the moment will never be too big. The platform or the pressure will never seem too large, too much for him. And so I think we're all kind of circling that one. But as you said, first things first with Princeton, excited to see Kansas continue to build upon some of the things we just talked about, to Daniel's question on identity, playing to their athleticism. You want to see them play bigger than what they did and play to their size more, but also play to their athleticism in that imposing your will kind of way. That's the identity. And I think stringing those types of performances together, particularly on the defensive end of the floor, and turning those defensive stops into quick transition opportunities on the other side, and doing so maybe more consistently with better ball handling. I can't remember the word that Coach Self used in the postgame with Greg, if it was awful, atrocious, or what it was, but he talked about the ball handling. And I mentioned this probably twice, maybe 3 times on the broadcast in real time to Greg, that we were playing at such a sped up pace that night, and we were trying to get downhill so much that at times it looked a little bit out of control, a little too revved up. And so I don't know if Princeton will allow them to do that or not, but as you said, numbers can be had against them, to your point. So we'll see, but playing a little bit more under control at still that turned up rate, that's where he wants to get these guys to, because clearly they have the athleticism to do it. And this is another matchup where that athleticism differential should really be on display. Put it that way. So excited for it Saturday at 1, fired up for Tuesday at MSG. And then it's pretty quick turnaround before we're off to the Players era in Las Vegas with a mammoth football game in between at Iowa State. And I don't know if you have that on your docket to talk about today or not, but just because we've gone hard on basketball for the last 90% of this interview, don't think that football isn't at the forefront of my mind. We absolutely have to find a way one of these last 2 weeks to get that 6th win and bowl eligibility tucked away. And so I'm thinking as much about Ames as I am Madison Square Garden and the Players era and Princeton on Saturday and all that, because that is certainly of massive proportions coming up. And real quickly, because I don't know what's left on our time, shout out to Kelly Leipold, thoughts and prayers with Kelly. And what a special couple that, when faced with maybe the most crippling news and disappointing and just knock you off your rocker news of their lifetimes, hearing the words, "You have cancer," their second thought after first figuring out how can we beat this thing is, how do we use our platform to help others in the fight? How do we encourage mammograms and early detection and raise money for folks in the fight? I don't know, guys. I mean, I've spent 18 years trying to raise money for pediatric cancer through the Roundball Classic, but I haven't encountered too many folks whose second thought after hearing the news, "You have cancer," is, okay, but how do we help others?
Yeah.
So that's
right.
pretty unique.
Amazing.
And I know it's been a big week for them. And gosh dang, I'm praying for her every day and thinking about them every day. And I just hope that she can beat this thing once for all, never look back and say, I beat it resoundingly. And then they can get their focus back on what will be a momentous finish to the season if KU can go out and grab it. So a lot of thoughts with the Leipolds and KU football right now, too.
Yeah, well said. Of course, keeping Coach and Kelly in our thoughts as we move forward. No game on Saturday, but like you said, a big one in Ames, November 22nd, and then Black Friday. Let's make sure that we pack the booth that day. KUathletics.com/tickets if you don't have tickets yet for that game, which hopefully is KU going for a 7th win and sending out the seniors with a victory. Brian, real quick, we got 1 minute or so. Hawk Talk last night. Nate Lee, big soccer match coming up. They get a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. Tell us about Hawk Talk. We were here, of course, at a company event, and your excitement for Coach Lee, the success he's had.
He's so good on the mic. Go back and check it out on KUathletics.com. They'll have it up this afternoon. I had 2 of his players out there. They both did a great job too. But let's pack the park.
Yeah.
Talk about packing the booth and all that stuff. Let's pack Rock Chalk Park Friday night at 6 o'clock for California Baptist. The 3 seed for KU soccer matches an all-time program high, and making it to back-to-back NCAA tournaments has only ever happened 3 times at KU. Hadn't happened since 2018, 2019. So he, like many of Travis Goff's hires, is operating well ahead of schedule. And yet now that they're here, there's no reason to believe that they can't make a run. So especially having experienced it a little bit last year. So I'm bullish on their chances to make some noise this postseason. And I'll be out there on Friday night. I hope you guys will as well.
There you go. Yeah, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, KU and Cal Baptist, first match in the NCAA tournament. Hey, that's going to do it today for Rock Chalk Sports. Thanks for tuning in on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Shout out as well to our great producer, Elijah Schmidt. For Dan Courtwright, Sean Kellerman saying we'll catch you tomorrow from 4 to 6 right here, ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com.